everybody, this is Living the Dream with Alex. I have not done a video in a little while now, and I want to explain the reason why. Um, I originally wanted to update always as I went along with my new rig to show y'all everything. Well, recently I filled y'all in on what's been going on with my problems. I've been trying to figure out what's going on with me for quite some time. Well, the 28th of last month, I was out at a place called Outback here in Quartzsite, and I wind up having one of my spells like guys told y'all about. And, well, it indicated it was worse this time. I ended up in Phoenix in a hospital, shipped out an ambulance, then helicopter ride all the way to Phoenix. I just got out of the hospital just a few days ago. I was in the hospital for 10 days. Um, and technically I am far from out of the clear. But I did find out that what I thought might have been seizures, I was right. So all this time for the past 3 years or more, and what's indicated the last 6 months, if y'all remember I told y'all they've been happening every day for even 12 hours at a time, stuff like that. They were seizures, at least some of it was. So I am been having seizures all this time, and they are really bad seizures. But they also, prior to me going in the hospital, when I got there on a helicopter ride, honestly, I have no memory of it. I have literally, it's like all memories gone. Only reason I know what happened that night of me going to the hospital is because friends and everything filled me in on what happened that night. But, and then I get there, apparently, in the process, I did stop breathing completely. I was incubated, and next thing you know, I woke up on a Thursday. I went in there on a Wednesday night. I woke up Thursday, and it was apparently 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I did not even know it because I've been completely out the whole time. And like I said, I had no memory of this, so I had to get told everything. I got incubated because apparently I had so much fluid on my lungs that it caused me to stop breathing, and it closed all up, and they had to incubate me with the tube down my throat. And then from there they took me up to a room in the hospital from the incubation room. And of course it kind of freaked me out at first because I wake up and I have this tube down my throat, and then my wrists are like tied down to this bed, and which I don't like being, like tied down like that. It kind of freak you out when you just wake up out of it. But they said that did that because they don't want you to pull the tube out of your throat. Of course, I'm like, okay, I understand. But still, it sucks when you can't talk because you have tube down your throat. Well, they get the tube out of my throat, they get me up to a room, and I still have so much fluid in my lungs that I have to have now oxygen on me 24/7. They started me off on three, it's like, I can't remember anyway. It's like numbered, how much you're getting in oxygen, and this is straight oxygen. So they had me on three, then they slowly had to keep moving it up and up because the fluid's just getting worse and worse. And I'm is doing everything I can to breathe. Well, eventually they had up me to 10, and like I said, they started off at three, and they had up me at 10. And even at 10, at that point, I can't even lay down. I can't nothing because I can't breathe. I have to sleep completely sitting up. So a little rough on me. And my body at this point is going through so much pain that it's unbelievably, making everything already worse as it is. So they had a catheter in me and everything like that because my body's so weak I can't even get out of bed. And then my whole left side of my body, for some reason, they still can't figure out this day, but whole left side of my body would not even move. So that's why, again, why they also had a catheter too. And so in 2 days, I still have fluid on my lungs now. And unfortunately, laying down flat, I still can't do it right now with what fluid still in my lungs. But in 2 days, they pumped like 2 gallons of fluid off my lungs, and that's a lot of fluid on my lungs. Well, they said in my lungs, but I don't know. On it, in it, pretty much, I just call it the same thing. But anyway, um, so but then they were going to finish getting the rest of the fluid off me, but then they had to stop because I started having one of my seizures, and they thought that's when they wanted to put me on the scanner and why I had my seizures, see what they saw. And that's when I guess I lit up like a Christmas tree, and that's when they found everything else. So they had to stop pumping fluid off my lungs because they also found out that I had blood clots in my lungs, um, which was apparently not just one or two. I had quite a few. So that was, a little scary to find out. And they don't even, I asked them, I said, do you know how they got there? And they said, well, they're not even sure how they got there. I know blood clots and everything does run in my family. Fortunately, they're hereditary, and it is what killed my dad at the age of 46. So, it could be something that got passed down to me. It's very possible. So that's when they done a further scan and found out that I didn't just have them in my lungs. I also have blood clots in my both of my legs. My right leg has a few in it. My left leg is loaded, really bad with blood clots. And then prior to me being in the hospital, all these doctors and everything, from the time I got in there, the first two heart doctors even saw me. They kept saying I was crazy and that I need to stop lying to them, that because I kept telling them I am having chest pain and I am having all these other pains and I'm having these problems. I need you to believe me. They're there. I'm feeling every bit of it. But despite what I told these heart doctors, they refused to believe me and said I need to stop lying to them and I need to go home. Well, when the lung doctor decided to put me on a scanner when I had a seizure, if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't be alive sitting here talking to you guys now. Um, because like I said, I got blood clots still in my lungs, blood clots in my legs. They did not remove none of them in my legs. They're really bad. Fortunately, my left leg is bigger than my right leg because the left leg, there's so many blood clots in it, so it's always in constant pain. What can I do at this moment, right? So I'm just basically trying to hang in here the best I can. But in trying to get every information of what's going on with you in the hospital is a needle in the haystack because fortunately half the time any reason I found out was wrong with me is I kept having to talk to nurses because doctors refused to tell me any results, which drove me nuts. That just makes things worse. And then having nurses, I had a nurse that came in there one day and literally went to put medicine in through my IV and had it hooked up to my IV, had her finger on top of about to push it in, and then realized the last second that was not even my medication. That belonged to somebody else. So she was about to release something in me that didn't belong to me, and that no telling what that could have done to me at that moment. So, which just makes things worse in my matter because now my stress level's worse. Already going on with more and more pain. The pain never quits. Everything like this point. And then my stomach, for some reason, all of a sudden was in so much pain one day while I was in there that I literally screamed for 4 hours in pain to beg them to do something, and I didn't care at that moment. I said, cut it out. I don't care. Cut out my chest, cut out my stomach, because I was in that much pain. I just wanted to just stop. And I just mean that as a figure of speech. I'm not literally meaning cutting out, but at that point, when you're in that much pain, you don't care. They tried like morphine, Dilaudid, and some higher drugs too to try to cut the pain down. None of them would work because I was in such pain high level. And so now, at this point, my pain level's already 1,000. That's sitting up position. Laying down position, my pain went to like 10,000. So I said, laying down's out of the equation. I said, I can't even I can't even hardly handle even 1,000 is. I'm screaming so much. You lay me down, it's because it's 10 times worse. Well, they come running in my room one day, the doctors and nurse and everything, And they said, you need to come down to us now. And I said, why? What's going on? And they said, well, if you don't get down to the procedure room now. And I said, yeah, I'm confused. What are y'all talking about? And they said, well, didn't Doctor such and such tell you? I said, no, doctor, it's been in my room all day. They said, well, if you don't get down at the procedure room now, they said, and we don't get the two main blood clots out of your lungs, which, like I said, I still got some now still in my lungs, but they had to take out two, which is the main big ones that were in my lungs. They said if they did not get them out right that second, I would have been dead in 2 days. So, add more stress on top of it. Nice to know at the last second that I was going to die in 2 days. Um, And I told him, I said, are you going to give me something to help ease off the pain? Being I'm going to be laying on a table flat or put me out. They said they don't put you out there for the procedure, which I didn't know that. They go in, they went in through my groin, through my main artery, go up to, um, they go up and everything to get these two blood clots out of my lungs. And despite the whole time when they found blood clots in the first place, I was pumped constant blood thinners going through an IV, and even in 2 days, that blood clots grew 2 inches longer in 2 days. And no joke, they showed me these blood clots afterwards, after they come out of my lungs. And like I said, now me laying down, the pain level goes even worse. So they didn't want to give me nothing to ease off the pain. They didn't want to knock me out. They wanted to keep me awake, and I tried to let them know. I've known since I was a child that numbing medicine don't work on me. So I could feel them going inside of me, plus the other pain level, and then won't give me nothing because they said they're not allowed, they don't do stuff like that. So now I'm just screaming the whole time on the table. And, at this point, I was like, just get me off my back, let my pain level ease. I can't hardly breathe, too. So they get these two blood clots out of my lungs, the main ones, and he shows them to me in person. And the doctor was even astounded how big they were. He's never even seen a blood clot that big, apparently. They were 6 inches long by that wide. By that wide. So 6 inches long by that wide. They started off at 4 inches by that wide. But in 2 days with blood thinners constantly pumping through my veins, that they went from 4 inches long to 6 inches long, but they still were this wide. And there was two of them, one in each lung, sitting there. So they said that was the reason why I had all my chest pain, which explains a lot. So now, like I said, I've been out of the hospital, and also I found out that at the last second of them discharging me, they also said I had free fluid in the left side of my pelvis and several cysts on my pelvis. But then the doctor says, but I don't think it's nothing to worry about, so we're just going to send you home. Well, I don't know. That to me, I would make sure I would test on some things too. I'm supposed to be going through some more tests to figure out some other things going on with me. They want me to go to some other doctor to try to figure out. Sorry, don't mind my coughing. Unfortunately, this coughing is going to drive me nuts at night. I cough so much bad. I cough. I pretty much don't have a second to take in air because I'm coughing nonstop. They say it's from the breathing tube that was down my throat that loosened up all the phlegm, but I've been already out of the hospital for a few days, and I was in the hospital for 10 days, and you would think the phlegm would have disappeared by now. At least I thought. I don't know, I'm going by what they're told. Um, my incision spot, of course, it still hurts, to be expected. Um, I'm still in a lot of pain. I still can't hardly sleep because of it. I still have to sit up and sleep because of it, because being I still got fluid on my lungs, it still makes it hard to breathe when I lay down. And because of the blood clots so bad in my legs, it makes my left leg so much always in pain. Because, like I said, my left leg is bigger than the other. And now I'm on blood thinners at home. And I'm also on that I have to take twice a day. And then I'm also on another medication. Then I'm also on seizure medication that I have to take twice a day. and it's 1,000 milligrams per tablet twice a day, and nothing but seizure medications. It does not stop my seizures. They said all it does is slow it down from happening as much. So, like in the hospital, even when I was taking it, I had a total of 3 seizures in 10 days. But 3 seizures in 10 days is better than every single day what I was having. So at that point, I'll take any relief I can. So they've already had it listed in there because of my seizures are so bad, I'm no longer allowed to drive at all. It's too dangerous with my seizures because being I have my seizures, when I lose all motor skills, I can't move my arms and my legs. That means I can't stop a vehicle. So I could kill myself or kill somebody else. Which I already know that because even on my e-bike, I've almost probably killed myself many a times because of having a seizure while I've been on my bike. So I understand that fully. And they said I can't even getting out and dancing, they said, is out of the equation. Swimming it, now I can get in a pool or a river, but swimming back and forth where it gets your heart pumping is out of the equation. I can walk around. I cannot go on a long hike. It's too dangerous. And I cannot do any major outdoor activities because they said because anything that's going to get your heart pumping too much could cause a seizure to come on. So I said, so a lot of things I'm not allowed to do anymore, which at this point, I don't want to make the seizures. I don't want to have them every single day again like I was. So I'm trying to keep them less as possible. And then because apparently I was having seizures for so much for the past 6 months or more, um, well, actually about 6 months. So I noticed that I had 20/20 vision one day. I woke up one day and my vision was like black for an hour. This is about like 6 months ago. And ever since then, the vision came back, but never completely. I have a permanent blur of my eyes, and the blurriness, of course, drives me nuts. There's a lot of things harder to see, like if somebody says, "Hey, look at this picture," or "Can you sign this?" and I go, "What? I don't see no lettering. I don't see nothing." Because the way my eyes are. Well, I found out the other day when I went to an eye doc's appointment that I was having seizures so much that it caused permanent damage to my eyes. So now I need glasses. Don't know what to do at this point. Because of course, dealing with everything like this and how to get medications, and I am broker than broke. I can't afford glasses, so I just have to deal with not being able to see that great. Um, what else can I do? Just hanging there the best I can. Maybe 1 month or maybe a couple months from now, maybe I'll eventually be able to afford glasses to be able to see better. But until then, well, you know, I'll deal with it. Um, but as y'all can tell, I am not doing so good. Um, so, and this is a hospital I was in Phoenix, is in, um, called a Broza or Browza West, or however you pronounce that. I'm telling everybody out there now, I would not go to that hospital if you care anything about basically anybody or you're even yourself. They're the worst hospital out there. They will treat you like crap. They will never get results from anybody because they just plain out play tricks on you. Such and such is supposed to tell you results. When you get down to that person, then they make excuses. Well, it ain't me. It's supposed to be that one. They keep going back and forth, never tell you results. You get nurses that try to give you medications that don't even belong to you in your system. Almost try to kill you, which is dangerous. Nurses that just plain up don't care and leave you in pain through the whole night. Doctors that call you liars. I would not want to go to that hospital ever again. Um, the only truly good doctor that was there was the lung doctor, and he's the one that found all the blood clots and everything in me, and found all the fluid on my lungs. So he's a truly only good doctor. And about 30 nurses that I ever seen the whole time in 10 days of being there, there was only 3 or 4 good nurses, period, out of all of them. And that ain't good odds. Um, but like I said, I've been out of the hospital for a few days, just been trying to take it easy and rest. But of course, when my body's in constant pain, you can't really do much anyway. Harder breathing because I still got fluid on my lungs. So just trying to hang in there. And I just want to give everybody an update of what's going on with me and why I have not put up a video because unfortunately I've been in the hospital. But at least I am back for now. I will try to get back to y'all when I can, or try to put out a video when I can. So I hope everybody has a good rest of the day, and I'll catch everybody later. Bye. Please like, subscribe, and comment.